No, episode 5, I believe it is now. Let's get Jenny to choose the numbers so that we know who we're talking about in this episode and who we're eyeing and who we're not in. I'm sure that makes sense to you. Right, Jenny Gilmore, between 1 and 38, give me 10 random numbers. Go.
3, 7, 12, 18, 20, 21, 23, 27, 30, 36.
Thank you, dear. Let's get through to the room and record this episode of Aye or No. Righty ho lads, here we are, Aye or No. As I said, let's get straight into the day, no messing about. We've got 10 players to talk about and we've got some Aye or No to be done. First up, Danny Handling. Now, this is a difficult one for me because I'm actually really unsure on the general consensus about Danny Handling. Is he a good player? Is he a bad player? Is he a bit average? I don't know. That's why I'm just going to go for the kind of opinion of a player that I just don't really know a hell of a lot about. I know he was good probably once in his career and then I've not really heard much about him in the last few years really. I think he's at Edinburgh City, if I'm right in saying that. But apart from that, I don't know a hell of a lot about Danny Handling. And for that reason alone, I'm going to have to say no, because I simply don't know enough to say that he's a good player. And because I don't know enough, I would assume that he's just on the average side and that, I don't know, there's just not enough positive energy around him for people to be buzzing about him as a player. So it's no for Danny Handling. Next on the list is Partick Thistle fullback James Penrice. Now, as we all know, James Penrice, Partick Thistle left back, I believe he is, and he's played a lot of minutes for Partick Thistle, especially when they've come down into the Championship. I think he made his debut when they were in the Premiership, and then he's pretty much played like every minute for the last 2 seasons for Partick Thistle. It's an impressive stat, and it shows that he is a good quality player because the managers that have been in charge at Partick Thistle have always chosen him in their starting 11s, whether that have been Alan Archibald, Gary Caldwell or indeed Ian McCall. As it stands right now, I'm assuming that he'll be a player that sticks with Partick Thistle for the foreseeable future and he'll continue to play as many minutes as he possibly can. He's just one of those type of players, and to go along with that, he is actually quite a decent player in my opinion, and one that is quite a standout within the league, despite being in a team in the last few seasons that have been down the bottom end of the table. So I think you can tell my answer for James Penrice already. It is clearly going to be an aye. Our James is a good wee player. Next up, Hamilton academical player in the Premiership, Alex Gogic. Now, he's a bit of a hard man, this guy, isn't he? So I better say aye for him, despite the fact that he's not exactly like a massive standout within the league, but he's a hard so you didn't want to get on the wrong side of people like that. All joking aside, Alex Gogic, I do actually think he is built for a team like Hamilton, or just in general a team that's got a hard working and industrial midfield. He would work in quite a lot of Premiership teams, especially the bottom 6 teams that need to fight for results. And Alex Gogic, as I said, looks like a hard man. You wouldn't want to meet him in a dark alleyway on a Tuesday night. So for that reason alone, I'm going to give him an aye. But I do actually rate him slightly in the role that he plays within a football team. So for that aspect as well, he gets an aye for me. Next up is another Morton player. Now, I've seen a comment for yesterday's video where I rated my worst 3 SPFL grounds and my top 3, and I included Morton in it, and I saw a comment in that video saying that I was really biased towards Morton, obviously in a bad way, because I don't rate their stadium, etc, etc. So that person that made that comment will love the fact that I'm about to say another no for another one of your players. Kyle Jacobs, Morton midfielder. I'm just not convinced. I think he's just one of those players that like is championship level and it's fine. Like he's just a kind of mid-table championship midfielder and you'll not really get any further than that if you have him in your midfield. I just don't see any reason why I should be rating him extremely highly. He did score 2 against Dunfermline earlier this season at Capello, so there is that. But aside from that fact, it's still a no for Kyle Jacobs for me. As I said, he's just kind of that average type midfielder that I'm not going to toot his horn massively. I just didn't rate him that highly. Moving on to a player that I do rate highly, however. It's Josh Mullin of Ross County. Now this guy is a player. Like, if I was to rate kind of ballers of the last few seasons within Scottish Championship, etc., I would say Josh Mullin, because he's been involved in a few of those seasons. Obviously, he's currently a Premiership player, but he was involved in the last few seasons within the Championship. He played for Livingston, and then he moved on to Ross County, where he won the league with them. And he's always been that type of player that I've looked at and thought, he knows what he's doing with football. And some of the goals that he scored, one that he scored against Dunfermline was absolutely outrageous. And I'll remember it for a long time to come. It's one of those players that one day I hope a team like Dunfermline could sign. There's probably no chance because he's that high quality a player, but he's just a fantastic football player in my opinion and deserves nothing else but an eye from me. I would be ludicrous to say anything else because the guy is a class act. And from one player that I rate very highly on one wing to another that I rate very highly on the other. And Morton fans, you'll be delighted to know it's an eye for Nicky Cadden. Nicky's a really impressive player for me, and he was one of the only signings that Morton made last summer that I thought that's a really good signing, because a lot of the players that Morton were signing were like your Robbie Muirhead and stuff like that, and come on, like, I'm not going to be impressed by that type of signing. I can't stand Robbie Muirhead. But Nicky Cadden, as I said, was one that I was very impressed by, and I just knew that he was going to perform really well in this league, especially under David Hopkin. He won promotion under David Hopkin's management when Livingston got promoted, obviously a couple of seasons ago now, and then he went up to the Premiership with him and didn't really get much game time, so then he's come back into the Championship to play for Morton, and under David Hopkin's management once again. Hopkin obviously gets the best out of Nicky Cadden, and Nicky Cadden just oozes class in my opinion. It's clearly an eye for Nicky Cadden. He's going in my kind of top 5 players in the SPFL Championship. If you didn't see that video a few weeks ago, he was in there, so he's obviously going to be an eye. Now next on the list is a bit of a strange one, like it's another one that I don't really know a hell of a lot about. I've seen him a couple of times playing and I've never really been that enthused by anything that he's done as a goalkeeper, so it's quite hard to really judge good goalkeepers when you've only seen them a couple of times. I've seen him play for Falkirk and I've seen him play for Clyde I think once maybe. It's David Mitchell. Now, it's just a strange one for me, like as I said, it's a bit like the ones like Danny Handlin and stuff. Like, I know he's got a bit of a reputation within the game, he's played for a number of years in the Scottish game, but I just don't know enough about him to really say that he's a great player, so I'm going to have to edge on the side of no for this one. Whether or not that's right or wrong, you can let me know in the comments if you know more about David Mitchell, if you're a Clyde or Falkirk fan. I remember one game where we played Falkirk and I believe David Mitchell was playing in goals for Falkirk and he got injured, and that was the last I saw him playing a Falkirk jersey at least, and then he moved on to Clyde. So I've barely seen the guy play. I'm going to edge on the side of no. If I saw him play more regularly, it might be an eye. I don't know. But from one goalie that gets a no, we're moving on to a goalie that definitely gets an eye. It's Václav Hladky. Now in my opinion, Václav is definitely up there within the top 2 goalkeepers in Scotland outside of Celtic and Rangers. He's probably up there with like Mark Gillespie, Joe Lewis types, and Václav just seems to have that ability to be a great shot stopper and just commands his box in a way, and he's one of those types of goalies that you're just quite confident that he's going to do the job, albeit he didn't do the job against Dunfermline when we played them in the Betfred Cup last July, but regardless, I digress. As I said, in my opinion, he's up there with the top goalies outside of Celtic and Rangers, and that's a great praise in itself because obviously playing for a team like St Mirren that has been down the bottom end of the league for the last 2 seasons when they've been in the Premiership, it's a positive thing to look at that he's still regarded as one of the best goalies within the Premiership. Second last today, Adrian Sporla of Dundee United. I really don't know enough about this guy. I've seen him play a couple of times. Obviously I was at a few Dundee United games this season. Dundee United fans will love to say that I've been at every single game, but of course I've not. I've been at about 5 or 6 maybe, and they've all been rearranged games, so get your act sorted. So Adrian Sporla for me, again, since I don't know enough about him, I can't say that he's a good player, so I'm going to have the edge on the side of no. I don't think he's played enough for Dundee United yet. If he gets more game time next season, which may or may not be possible, then I might change my mind, but for now, it's a no for Adrian. And finally, it's an easy one, David Turnbull of Motherwell. It's going to have to be an eye because he's one of the most upcoming greatest talents within the Scottish game at the moment. obviously coming back for that injury, but beforehand he was playing out his skin in the last 6 months of the previous campaign, and then he's come back this season late on, and obviously his comeback got a bit curtailed by the whole pandemic that we're currently going through. But David Turnbull will most likely still be a class player when he eventually gets back on the field or play on a consistent basis. So of course it's going to be an eye for David Turnbull, and I'm glad that he's back fighting fit after his long injury layout. But that's it for this video, guys. Cheers for watching. If you did enjoy it, please go a like, comment down below, aye or no for the players that I've mentioned. Subscribe for more of this type of content, and until the next video, I'll see you then. Cheers, guys.